every single episode is going to be live.
Every town has a ghost story that's been passed down throughout the generations. But what if those legends are true? My job is to travel to these destinations, explore them, and figure out the mystery that lies within. Hey everybody, happy Thursday night. I hope everyone has had a wonderful Christmas. We are back here at the Ghostbacker Garage, and I'm trying to get this lighting set to where it's not quite so harsh and bright. But as I was saying, I hope everyone has had a wonderful Christmas and that they're looking forward to the new year that's fastly approaching. I know that we've been really busy. We were back at the jail today, or I was back at the jail today. Chris is still on vacation with her family for Christmas, but was back at the jail today, had quite a few tours going on, and so we are open through the remainder of the week. We will be open through Monday, and then we'll be closed for New Year's Eve and, of course, New Year's Day. And then we'll start on our regular schedule of being closed during the month of January and open by appointment only, but only open during Saturdays. So hello to everyone that's on here tonight. Kind of got a few people on here. Hello to Sonia Thompson and, of course, Nancy Weems. Thank you all so much for watching. Now, of course, we did not do a Jailhouse Informant Live earlier tonight because, again, like I said, Chris is out of town. And so wanted to make sure that we were both here because, of course, it's going to be an end of year wrap up. And we will actually do that next Thursday night, where we will do an end of year wrap up for 2024 and then kick off the new year talking about some of our favorite captures that's taken place during the past year, as well as some really cool and interesting things that we've got going on. January is going to be kind of a time where we're able to go in. We've got a bunch of new exhibits that we're adding, and so that's going to be a time when we're working on all of that. Yeah, as Nancy says here, blinked and Christmas came and gone. That's 100% true. I tell you, this is the closest that Christmas has been to Thanksgiving in a while, and it seems like it just came up on us. And next thing you know, it was here, and we have just at the jail. We have just been busy since September. And we never slowed down. I thought we were going to slow down in December, but we never did. And so, of course, here we are, and we're just going to step right into more fun and interesting things. Yes, James Brady, Merry Christmas to you all. It's never too late to wish Merry Christmas. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. Kim Brady, how are you doing? And then, of course, Jolly Jeffers Goins on here. It was great to see you stopped by with Miss Mary on Monday and wished us a Merry Christmas. So we thank you all for stopping by. So got some really interesting things that's going on. Like I said, we will be having tours throughout the remainder of the week here at the historic Scott County Jail. We've got a guided ghost hunt tomorrow night there, and then we've also got a lantern tour there at the Village of Historic Rugby, all on Friday night. We will be open. This will be the last, I say week. Our week runs from Thursday to Monday. So this is the last full week that we will be open with our regular schedule. And then, of course, like I said, in January, we will go back to an abbreviated schedule for the cold, closed months. But we will be offering paranormal investigations every single night during the month of January. We will be open during the day by appointment only. So we'll have all of that information. If you're in the area and you're bringing folks, let us know. And if we are able to come in on those days and accommodate a tour, we would be more than happy to do so. So, so that's going to be taking place this week. And so see our schedule there if you would like to book one of those tours, an overnight investigation or a guided ghost hunt as we wrap up 2024. Other things that's going on here, let me get these pulled up. Let me get the screen shared here. Let's see, our very first event that we've got going on that's going to be coming up pretty quickly, and that's going to take place on January 11th, 2025, and it is the Offbeat True Crime and Paranormal Expo. I know some of you folks watched the show last week of the Jailhouse Informant podcast. Let me make this larger here. There we go. If you watched the Jailhouse Informant podcast last week, you saw that we had Chad Shepard, and he is one of the founders here of Offbeat True Crime and Paranormal Expo. This is their very first year doing this, and so we're excited to be a part of that. We're going to be representing Ghost Biker Explorations as well as Soul Sisters Paranormal, the historic Scott County Jail, and historic Rugby After Dark. But some of the other big names that's going to be there are Bear and Beth Allen from Octagon Hall. They're actually I think they're working to maybe get an investigation at Octagon Hall. I'm not sure if that's set in stone yet, but I know they were talking about that because they're in Bowling Green, where this is going to be, is only about 20 to 30 minutes from Franklin, Kentucky. Also, Alex Hawkins, who's the grandson of serial killer Judy Baumgard. Karen Conti, John Wayne Gacy's final attorney. Judy LaChance with Effigy Paranormal, and of course, Rob Graves, who is the owner of Fox Hollow Farms. So if you want to learn more about this event that's going to be taking place there, and it's going to be taking place at the Crown Theater, which is in and of itself extremely haunted. And actually, I take that back. So since they've got this now at the Crown, that's where the paranormal investigation is going to be taking place, is there. So they've got all of this information if you go to offbeathorror.com. But if you would like to find out more information about this entire event, if you would go on and look up and watch our podcast that we did on the historic Scott County Jail Facebook page and YouTube channel. Chad breaks everything down. We talk about some of his favorite artifacts that he has in his collection, and then some of the cool things that we've got going on with this convention that's coming up real quick in January. Let's see, the couple other events. We don't have anything on the schedule for February. I know we've got bookings at the jail and at Rugby, but no events going on in February. Skip ahead to March, and actually, let me type this one in as the one I didn't pull up. We will be going back to Bowling Green, Kentucky, there to Vet CityCon, and that's going to be taking place at the Corvette Museum. And it's more of a family-friendly event. It is there's all kinds of celebrities that are going to be there, and so again, Dr. Sumner and I will be there representing our respective teams as well as our two locations. And so this is going to be at the Corvette Museum. And from what I understand, Chad says that there's typically 2,000 to 3,000 people that attend this event in and of itself. So we're excited to be going back to this going to this convention. I think this is maybe their third or fourth year that they've been doing that. He also talked about that while he was on the show last week. So you'll find out a lot of information if you go back and check that out. What I'll do is I'll actually share a link to that podcast that we did with him on there. And then, of course, in April, very, very excited to be going back to St. Albans for EnigmaCon. I know that we've been talking a lot about this convention It's one of my favorites. Bedford Paranormal does an amazing job of putting this event on. And St. Albans, I can't say enough about Marcel and this location. It's just the perfect place for this convention. And so this will be my 4th year of being part of this, but lots of great speakers and lots of great investigators that are going to be there. And the vendors are top notch too. So this is going to take place on April 26th. Just so happens to be my birthday weekend. So I'm gonna be celebrating, I think, on that. And hope you guys will get tickets to this. Come check it out. Support St. Albans Sanatorium. I also know that these tickets sell out pretty quick for the VIP paranormal investigation. I think you can, all day long, you can come and look at the vendors. I think the ticket includes the speakers. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe that's the case. And then, of course, the investigation. So usually we've got Ronnie Anderson and Daryl Paulette who's on here. And they can always give more information out about this. And as it gets closer, we'll talk a little bit more about it as this is coming up in April. And I see that James says he's already got his tickets for St. Albans. So looking forward to seeing you guys then. Let's see here. And then the final event, they actually just sent me the updated poster this morning. So I can't wait for this convention that's going to be taking place out in Wisconsin. This is the Wisconsin Cryptids, Anomalies, and Paranormal Convention. It's going to be taking place Saturday, May 10th in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's going to be my first time out in Wisconsin. Be glad to check that state off of my list. And I'm going to get to meet a lot of people that I've only known through Facebook, but because having not been out in that region before, I know that there's a lot of folks that I know, but I just haven't got to meet in person yet. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm really looking forward specifically to the Bigfoot hike that's going to take place on Friday. So this entire convention is going from May 9th through the 11th. Friday night's the VIP dinner and Bigfoot hike. Saturday will be the convention, speakers, vendors. I think they're having gallery readings. And then, of course, on Sunday, they're doing 2 paranormal investigations. They're trying to keep the numbers kind of a nice, small, intimate investigation. So I think they're breaking the investigation up into 2 segments, 2 4-hour segments, where they'll do a morning segment and then they'll do an evening segment. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get to, or more than likely, I'm not going to get to stay for the paranormal investigation on Sunday because I'll be driving back. But and I think for me it's about a 11 or 12-hour drive. So so I'll be starting back there on Sunday. But super excited to be a part of this. Barnaby Johnson, I got to meet him. I got to meet him there during our convention there at Haygood Mill, Barnaby Jones. Apparently, I can't read and think at the same time. Barnaby Jones, I got to meet him in person there at Haygood Mill, and he's just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to cryptids and the paranormal. So, so can't wait to be a part of his convention. We've got the links to the website here where people can go and they can book that. Let me just pull that up right quick. And there we go. And so this breaks down everything. They've got discounts at the hotel there. You can get your tickets. They, like I said, they break down everything that's going on. And on this link here, you can purchase the tickets to the different events that they've got going on each day. And great pricing for all of this. So let me just copy this right here and put it here in the comment section. There we go. And so if you're watching the show at a later time, if you want to go on there, click on the links, it'll take you right to the page. Um, so yeah. Again, thank you all who have joined us tonight. And I want to say hello to Becky Evans. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. I've been doing great. Hope you are too. And definitely, definitely good to catch up with everyone over here. All right. So so that's kind of catching up on a little bit of things that we've got going on here coming up early in the new year. We will talk about all that. We'll also try to get Barnaby as well as somebody from Enigma Cons and possibly Chad from the event. That's we probably won't get him on before we do the offbeat true crime convention, but we'll definitely try to get him on before Vet City to talk a little bit about his collection, because it was just fantastic hearing about that. So this is kind of the first time that we have actually been talking about a season here at the end of the year. Normally when we do our seasons, they air on Tuesday nights. We do a wrap up on Thursday nights. But of course, with all the busyness and stuff that we've had going on at the jail, we've not been able to get on here and talk as consistently with the seasons. But I hope that, I know a lot of you that's in here in the chat room have gone back and watched some of the episodes, or at least were here during the lives. I hope you'll go back, check them out, because hopefully up in the new year, we will be releasing full-blown episodes of these that has the static cam footage as well as audio recordings that were captured. And with this episode, there was a ton. Now, it was active from the beginning. And so we're talking about the season finale, which took place there at Nerd.ee Comics and Collectibles. So if just to kind of recap, if you didn't get to watch the season live, we did travel to all antique stores, oddity shops, and collections this past season, which was such a special season. It was very unique with a lot of interesting activity. We've gone and we've broken down all the episodes except for the season finale. Also, one of the themes of this season was every one of them took place in North Georgia area. Was very grateful for the folks who hosted me and allowed me to come down to their locations and spotlight those locations. Last week, we were talking about episode 4 of season 7, which took place in Lula, Georgia, in the really cool little vintage shop of Lula Mercantile. And several of these locations, I can't wait to go back and try to do a deeper dive and investigate these locations, because for me, I honestly left with more questions than I had answers, and a lot of ideas of things that I want to try whenever I'm at those specific locations again. So definitely hoping to do that in the new year. Probably won't be a live investigation, but getting to go back and check those out. That's going to be really, really cool. Let me just kind of clear my browser and stuff, or not browser, but clear my searches up here so I can pull more things up. So please bear with me here. Now, so I wanted to pull up a few pictures that I had from when we were there at Nerd.ee. So here we go. Now, this location was really neat, because there was a really cool history surrounding this building and the town itself, and then also just being able to investigate a comic book store was something that was really fun and unique. Matt does an amazing job with this location. Just gonna kind of scroll through. Let me maximize that. Scroll through all of this. Let's see here. Matt is a veteran and a former Marine, so we're real thankful for his service, and really enjoyed getting the opportunity to talk with him. They just had their Toys for Tots fundraiser that they did, and from what I understand, they got a lot of toys for what they were doing. So we've been pushing that event for a few months now since we found out about it. And so we're glad to hear that everything went really well with that. They have events going on there at the store all the time. Everything from comic book signings to specific sales and stuff that they've got going on. If you're in the Commerce, Georgia area, I highly suggest you go check Matt out, visit his store, and go buy some really cool merchandise and stuff that he's got there. Let me go back here, minimize that. So you definitely want to go and check that out if you're in the area. Or even follow their Facebook page. That's got a lot of different things that they've got going on. But let's just talk a little bit about Commerce, Georgia, where we were visiting. So I'm going to pull up the map here. I do want to thank my friend Sonia Thompson there for hosting me and allowing me to stay with her there and introducing me to Matt. I'm very grateful for that. But as you can see here, we were in North Georgia, and Commerce was a lot of fun because, I mean, it's just kind of, when you go to the downtown area, it's kind of like your typical little small Main Street USA. I know there's been a push and a revitalization for Main Street areas and our Main Street towns, and is really neat to see that they've gone in a lot of the older buildings. They're working on remodeling those, and stores are going in. So Commerce is a really, really cool place to visit. We covered the history there during the episode. We specifically did not give the name of the town because we were trying to see if there was any connection with the spirits who were there, see if they would either give us the original name. The original name was Harmony Grove, and it was established there incorporated in 1884. We did not get anything as far as on the obelisk stating that it was calling it out by name. But you never know. Maybe we'll get something on some of the recorders. I have not had the opportunity to go through and review all of the recorders and all the static cameras. At this particular store, it's a 2-story store there. They had a loft overhead. They had multiple rooms as well as a basement in this building. So I believe I had, at that time, I think I had either 5 or 6 static cameras as well as recorders going at that time. So, so a lot of cameras to go through. The live was 3.5 hours long, and we did set up some of the cameras and stuff during the 2-hour period beforehand. So there's a little bit of extra footage there to go through that wasn't seen on the live. Just kind of looking over here at the comments section. Yeah, definitely, Nancy. Hopefully I will be able to get back down there. Next year, whenever we talk a little bit more about some of this stuff, I do want to kind of show a map that shows the entire area. And I sort of made a triangle while I was there of the different places that I visited. And Becky says that is close to my daughter, that she lives up in Blue Ridge. And that is such a beautiful area. I know when I went home from one of the locations, I was able to go through Blue Ridge, and I absolutely love that area. You're not at a shortage of motorcycle riding roads or beautiful back roads to ride in a car. of any of these locations in North Georgia, up all the way up to Tennessee and through North Carolina. We did have to detour a little bit because of the hurricanes that took place, but and all that happened right there at the start of the season. So we were doing a lot of rerouting, and it took a little bit longer to get to some of these places than intended. But absolutely beautiful countryside that we were able to drive through, and just like I said, perfect roads for motorcycle riding. Okay, so this particular building that we were in, building had a lot of uses. And so we do talk about that during the episode, but originally it was a bank. We did show it during the episode. There were two different vaults that were inside of there. One of them was Matt's office. The other held some of the vintage toys that they had there in the shop. It was at one point in time a shoe store, a five and dime store, a beauty shop. I'm trying to think if I've missed anything. Sonia, if I've missed anything on that, please feel free to comment there in the comment section. And we got a lot of activity relating to all of these different locations that I mentioned. At one point in time, there in the very beginning, so as you walk into the store, you're there in the main showroom where they've got their comic books, their toys, and then, of course, the main vault. And then as you go back through the hallway there are action figures are back there, some old video game consoles and arcade games back there. There's the door that goes down to the basement, and then there's the door that goes up to the upper level. Once you get up on the upper level, they kind of have a little lounge room up there, and then you go out on this mezzanine that overlooks mezzanine loft area that overlooks the showroom. You can see we had from up top there, we had tripwires set up. We had a camera that was set up doing a bird's eye view of the entire room. And we tried to put cameras on all of these key areas. Some of the employees that work there reported some different happenings around the shop. So this location did have rumors of paranormal activity, or have reports of it. One of the specific areas where activity was said to take place was over in the area near the vintage toys. One of the employees had a word bank, and they were asking some questions about the specific toys. And as they were asking those questions, I think when they picked up one of the toys on the word bank, it said mine. And so we wanted to kind of test and see through our flashlights and through some of our other tools, when we were asking specific questions about which toy they preferred. Interestingly enough, we did get intelligent responses with the flashlights with the same toys that they were picking up that they had gotten mine from. So we do believe that we were probably talking to someone that may have had a connection with some of the toys there on that table. Let's see, we got Sonia here. Sonia says general store and a warehouse. So thank you. So these buildings, they had lots of uses. As we were going through and doing a tour of the location, when we got in the area back there where we had the tripwire set up, in the area where the action figures were, we were getting some intelligent hits on the tripwire. And from my notes here, it did appear that the responses we were getting was from someone who worked there when this was a bank. I believe that they were that they actually worked inside the bank. They weren't, because we were asking everything from were they married to like the president of the bank. Was it someone who worked there? Were they someone who visited there or banked there, or visited there as a child or banked there as an adult? We were getting the same spot on intelligent responses with that, as well as the flashlight back there from somebody who worked at the bank. Now, fast forward a little bit to the front of the building, we were getting responses from someone who seemed to be connected to the store when it was a five and dime store. So I thought that was pretty fascinating that it seemed like we were talking to multiple people from different eras, depending on what section of the building you were in, which was which I thought was fascinating. Now, let me pull this up here. So I wanted to kind of highlight this. Definitely go back and watch. You'll see some of the intelligent responses that we were getting. We turned the lights on in the back room here, and Christy actually pointed this out to me. It was something she noticed while she was watching live. I'm not really sure what was going on here, but we were in the back room. We were getting intelligent responses on the tripwire. We were also getting the flashlights there on the little mini arcade game. And when you watch this, about 10 minutes and 35 seconds in, there's something that moves across the screen from the second tripwire light. And of course, things could always be, the screen jumping, pixelation. There's always those type things. But let me just kind of take this back just a little bit. So you're going to see where we were talking to Dex, the cat. So I'm going to start it around 10 minutes and 6 seconds, but around 10:35, like I said, something kind of moves across the floor when the flashlight turns off. So go ahead and play that.
Curious about what we've been doing. And so, yeah, when he walked into the room, we got a flashlight on the old vintage game machine right there, little arcade game. And yeah, so it lit up whenever Dex came in. Can you see Dex? If you can see Dex, can you light up? Oh, the flashlight turned off. Can you light up one of the lights on the floor if you like Dex? Is he your buddy? Oh, thank you. Look at that. How cool.
Okay, I don't know if you guys saw that. I'm going to jump back just a second. Like I said, to I'm going to go 10:14, and it's going to take place right there around that second light. When the light turns off on the little arcade game, and we acknowledge that something moves right through here.
Flashlight on the old vintage game machine right there, little arcade game. And yeah, so it lit up whenever Dex came in. Can you see Dex? If you can see Dex, can you light up? Oh, the flashlight turned off. Can you light up one of the lights on the floor if you like Dex? Is he your buddy? Oh, thank you. Look at that. How cool. Now, this area right here in this back room is a place where one of the...
interesting responses on the tripwire there. And like I said, that kind of, there was something that moved across the floor right there. And we see several instances where this happens in different rooms. Thank you, Becky, for pointing that out. Sometimes as I'm replaying this stuff on the computer here, it's a little bit harder to hear. It's also it could be a little harder to see. So I definitely suggest you go and check this out in real time. Hey, Ronnie, hope you're doing well and had a wonderful Christmas. Now, so I do want to pull up a couple other things here. We had some intriguing responses on the Ovilus throughout the entire episode. it kind of seems like, and we didn't really go down this line of questioning a whole lot, but I was getting some very similar responses that I had gotten on at some of the other locations, which led us to believe that it's very possible that we may have been experiencing something that was in a way following me from location to location there. I don't know. I should have explored that a little bit further, but sometimes in these locations it's a little bit harder to go through and narrow all of that down when you have so many rooms, so many items, and such around. Thank you, Jolly, for confirming that you saw that. Thank you, Ken. Ken, we are talking about Nerd.ee, comic and collectibles store that I investigated for the season finale of my season 7. So, and it is in Commerce, Georgia. So I just want to pick out a couple other spots that I want to highlight here. Excuse me while I dig up these timestamps here. Again, is a 3.5 hour live, so we're only going to show just a couple things here. We did go over to the front of the building and continued asking questions, got some pretty intriguing responses. While we were in one section, I believe the word Akasha came up on the obelisk, and interestingly enough, I did end up taking a picture of it here. There in the room was a poster. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find it here. There was a poster in there for I can't pronounce it. It's Star Wars Ahsoka, which it's kind of interesting that we got the word Akasha. Of course, it doesn't mean the same thing. However, you know how these word banks tend to function. They may have 1,000 words in them, but they're not going to have every word. And sometimes they'll say words that are similar. So this was pretty cool. We also they were also talking about some of the comic books that were located inside of the building there. And we were trying to go and match everything up. We did get the word hammer. And so we went looking for Thor, and we did happen to find, let's see here. It's a little harder to see on the phone here. We did happen to find Thor. That was, looks like if I turn it, yeah. We did happen to find him, and he was actually located right in the center of all the Funko Pops, which was kind of interesting that he was right there. I took video of that when we found it, and we found that after we went off the live. And so that will be in part of the re-release of this episode. Things from Fantastic Four. It seemed like we were getting a lot of responses that, if I'm not mistaken, I need to go back and look, but we pretty much got a mention of all 4 of the Fantastic Four while we were doing that. So that was really cool. Okay. So, and I'll admit there was a lot of Star Wars references and such going on there. Who doesn't love Star Wars? However, I am not a fanatic like my business partner is, as well as some of the folks that have watched. So I'm a little, I guess, sound a little ignorant when talking about some of it. But I see here, James says to let Chris know that he found a Millennium Falcon the other day, but he didn't buy it yet, though. I was really, really impressed with the amount of items that they had in there, and just the vintage toys were just badass. Yeah, I am not as big of a fanatic as Ronnie and Chris is. I know we had a little bit of debate on all that as the show was going, which was a lot of fun as well. I do want to skip ahead here to a couple of these timestamps. Let me get these. So I was hearing a lot of stuff in the moment. Now, at this location, it was just myself and the shop cat, Dex, who was there. And it's always so much fun whenever you have limited audience there or limited people there in the building. You're able to really account for what's going on. So I'm going to skip ahead to this point, 2 hours and 16 minutes in. And this was, thank you, Sonia, for sending me a couple of these timestamps here from where you watched. I heard a woman's voice in the moment, and I know she said she could hear it too. And some of you folks that were watching heard it as well. So let me just get right here. I'm going to give just a little bit of extra time here. I'm going to start it right at about 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 13 seconds. And you're going to hear it around 2:16:30. And we were downstairs at this point. So let me just kind of explain, if in case you missed it, what the downstairs level was like in the basement. In this area, they had gone in and they had done some repairs in the basement. They had actually sealed it up. It was probably one of the nicer basements that I had ever been in. And so we set several different items up. We did do a tour down here with the light on, but I have I'm not sure what that tool is called, that's got the laser grid, and it's got the screen that shows up if there are heat signatures or temperature changes going on. It's got an alarm on it. We had a flashlight down there. We also had a laser grid set up, and I had a motion light set up across from the center. In the center, there was this step down that was there. It was pretty deep, and it was you also had some of the exposed brick in this area too. So we're going to go ahead and play this, and you should hear a woman's voice right around the 2:16:30 mark.
Did you used to work in this grocery store? What? I sound like a woman trying to talk.
Okay, I'm going to play it again. I mean, to me, it was loud. I could not tell what she was saying, but it was quite loud. So we'll go ahead and start it again, and you're going to hear it around the 2:16:30 mark.
Okay. Did you used to work in this grocery store? What? I sound like a woman trying to talk.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that or not. To me, I mean, it almost sounded like a full sentence. And it sounded like she was trying to respond after after I asked the question. I mean, James, it could have been singing. I don't know, but it was I don't know, kind of loud. Yes, Deb, that's right. The GS2. Um, I have mixed feelings on this one. It picks up a lot of false positives as far as the heat signatures or the temperature changes on it, but it's still pretty cool. And I'm finding it works a lot better in these small rooms like this. Nancy says she heard that. Um, Bob, to me, it sounded like a whole sentence. I'm going to try to go in whenever I pull the audio from this. I'm hoping that the static recorder that I had sitting down there will pick up the audio a little bit better than my phone did. So we should technically have 3 different recorders down there. My phone, the static camera itself, which usually doesn't have too good of a recorder on it, and then also the static recorder that I had sitting there. So, uh, so we'll see. Maybe we'll get something, and I'm gonna try to slow it down and see if we can make out what she's saying. Um, Jolly heard it, but not sure what it said. And Becky says, "I believe that she was trying to answer you." I agree. I mean, it's really cool. It sounded like it was at that moment, right after I asked the question, if she was there when this was a grocery store. And Sonia confirms that she heard a woman's voice as well. Now, the other, let's see, the other time slot. Okay, so this was another one that I did hear in the moment, and it was a noise. So that was around the 2 hour, 6:18 minute. So I'm going to start at 2:05:57, and we'll see if we hear the noise. Okay. Can you turn it back on if you worked here? Are you one of the Hardmans? What was that? Did anybody hear that? That sounded like either a kid or a woman say, mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back. It is a little faint on here. Do you know who changed the if here? Let's see. When this town? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Can you turn it back on if you worked here? Are you one of the Hardmans? What was that? Did anybody hear that? Now, on here, it sounded a little more like a knock. But let's see. I'm looking here. Again, hopefully the audio and stuff will pick up better. I've got to say, this is a new phone, and while it's a new phone, I am less impressed with the audio on this one as I was with my last phone. That was a 2019 phone, and the audio on that, the microphone was just phenomenal. This, I think that while it's got a great camera on it, I think there needs to be tweaking with the audio. It doesn't pick up sounds as well as the other, and I think that's a ploy that they have to get you to buy a higher level phone. So, anyways, that I'm a little disappointed that that does not pick up as well as the audio on my other phone did. But we'll definitely go back and listen to some of those others. And to me in the moment it did sound like a kid. Now the last one that I do want to point out. So we had a lot of great conversation that was going on while we were downstairs here in this particular room. Let me get this one queued up here. And of course, like I said, I'm going to try to find a picture of what this or video of what this downstairs room looked like, just so I can remind you of the space and all that is set up down there. We had a motion light that was set up, and we was getting ready to go upstairs after we had gotten all of these interesting responses. And just before I go to get up, the motion light is triggered, which is pretty cool here. So let me get that pulled up here. And Becky, this is definitely not a cheap phone. It is a higher end phone, but the way they've done it, the microphone is just not as good. It was, like I said, this was by far not a cheap phone. It was about a $1,500 phone, but I wasn't going to pay $1,800 for the level above it on this one, because that's just ridiculous. But yeah, it was definitely not cheap. Okay, so here is where the motion light goes off. So okay. So it's going to go off at 2 hours, 44 minutes, and 28 seconds, but I'm going to start it right here. All right. Go upstairs right quick. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that was the motion light. Wow, okay. That's cool. That was the whole motion, and I've been here in front of it the whole time. Oh, thank you. Wow. All right, that was pretty badass that the motion light turned on. Now, I do want to mention on that specific motion light, actually had that facing up. Sorry, I have a cat sitting on the back of my chair. So I actually had the motion light facing up, so that whenever it was up and kind of back, so that there was no chance of us setting it off, or me setting it off when I was down there. And so moved in front of it, had been standing in front of it all along, and it wasn't until we were getting ready to leave the room. And I had actually just asked before that if they could turn the light on. I guess I didn't go back far enough on that, because there was a little bit of a pause there. But the last thing I had asked before we were leaving was if they could turn the motion light or turn one of the flashlights on there. So that's just a few of the pieces. We were on live for about, let's see, we were on live for about another 45 minutes after that motion light went off. And again, definitely go back, check out that episode, and check out some of the different things, because if you watch it as a whole, you'll see the conversation that it continues, and that a lot of the responses are pretty spot on, especially when it comes to the ovilus and to some of the tripwire and flashlight responses on that. So let's see. Nancy says that they've been playing around with audio on internet. Yeah. That's for sure. We've had video, audio, technical difficulties all throughout that entire thing. And then Sonia says, I thought it was cool when you asked if she was a teacher at the 2:19:44 mark. Let's just go ahead and pull that up real quick, and that'll be our last one of the night. So let me 2:19:44. We were getting responses from a lady named Grace. And okay, so let's pull that up. Yeah, it apparently was a little bit before here.
And we did get students. Were you a teacher by any chance? Wow. Wow. That's broad. Mind, God, and Nana is what that said earlier. Feeling drained all of a sudden again down here. Got a pain in my left hand.
And that seemed to be something that happened every time I was downstairs. It seemed to I seemed to feel drained almost the entire time. And so, like I said, there were, just kind of looking at the comments right here. Yeah, we ended up getting taught that came up after we got that response about a teacher. So yeah, definitely go check it out. Check out the full episode. We will, like I said, all of these episodes from this season and last season, we will be releasing as full episodes where we go in and put it with the external static cameras as well as the static recorders, that sort of thing. So we will be doing that. Hopefully around February and March, we'll be able to release some of these different episodes with some other things. And if you find yourself with something, with some spare time and are going back and rewatching, if you would send me any timestamps that were some of your favorites, we'll be sure to add those on the episodes when we do the re-release of them. But this has been a lot of fun. This was an extremely fun season. I really enjoyed the opportunity to be able to investigate with all of you and discover some really interesting activity at some fascinating locations and try some interesting experiments. This was truly a memorable and fun season, and I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did and are looking forward to 2025. Again, got some great events that are coming up, and that's just what I'm involved in. That's not even scratching the surface. I've seen a lot of friends that have been posting different events that are coming up, investigation opportunities, and speaking opportunities and stuff that they're involved in. Looking forward to following along with that and seeing some interesting things that are going on at the historic Scott County Jail and historic Rugby After Dark. So if you want to find out more about that, go check out our pages there on Facebook and check out our podcasts that are coming up. Again, we'll be doing our end of season wrap up next year on next Thursday night. And also, that's what we're going to be doing next Thursday night on this show. I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull some of my favorite moments from some of my guests that I had last season. We had some very fascinating folks on last year that talked about their paranormal journey, their studies that they've been doing, that sort of thing. We're going to talk about that. Also talk about some of the the investigations, because we did some live investigations this past season. We may highlight some of those key findings as well, but essentially just wrap up the year and getting everything ready for the new year that's going to be coming up. So got great guests planned for next year, and hopefully if you all have any suggestions of anyone that you would like for me to have on the show, or any topics that we're going to cover, because we're kind of changing it up a little bit this year. We will be having guests on. Hopefully we'll be doing some roundtables, and also it'll just be some regular shows of just me talking about some specific topics. So if there's something in particular you would like for me to cover, reach out. I'd be more than happy to do that. But until then, I hope everyone definitely has a safe and happy new year that's coming up. I can't believe here we are in coming up on 2025. So I hope that it is absolutely blessed and wonderful for you guys. Just kind of looking here at the comments right quick before we jump off. Thank you all for following my show and choosing to spend your time with me. I know that, there's a lot of things you can be doing, and time is no doubt the most valuable thing that we all have. And so I can't thank you all enough for choosing to spend your time with me here tonight in this particular spot. So just know it is appreciated. And I can't thank you all enough for watching this season and for your kind words. It really means a lot. And hopefully next season or next year, we will have more lives, more interactive investigations with some new and interesting tools and techniques, and hopefully some other places that maybe you've either not heard of before, or have not visited, or at least not heard about the paranormal activity at the locations. Um, definitely my favorite season so far. And go and support these locations. It's they're small businesses. A lot of them we have had where you can actually go and follow what they're doing online. If you can't make it down to visit the locations, definitely go follow, like, subscribe, share their pages, check out what they're doing. And even if you're not close by, maybe somebody who you're friends with is close by and will be able to go in and check them out. Let's see. Bob says would like to maybe hear some theory Q&A. I love that. I think that would be great. And thank you, Ronnie. I definitely appreciate that. And appreciate like I said, all the kind words on here. I'm just going through here and trying to make sure. Yeah, that's a good point, Nancy. Definitely got to keep an eye on the weather. We are supposed to be under some pretty bad weather for like the next, I think, like 4 days. We've got a walk tomorrow night. Chris is going to be doing the walk. I'm going to be doing the guided ghost hunt tomorrow night. And Chris's walk is outside there. So hopefully, fingers crossed, and prayers up that weather kind of holds off for the walk tomorrow night. But we are definitely supposed to get some pretty intense weather. I think up starting in the middle of the night tonight through Sunday and Monday here, which the jail definitely likes to talk to us whenever we have crazy weather. So hopefully that will cause the guided ghost hunt to be pretty active tomorrow night, and any other walks or investigations that we've got coming up this weekend. So, anyway, so with all of that being said, I'm going to let you guys get on to it. But again, thank you all so much for making this a wonderful season, making it a fantastic year, and cheers to a beautiful and wonderful, fantastic 2025 that's coming up. And we will see you all here in the new year. So take care, everyone, and good night.